G'day YouTube. We've got something new, guys. We've got a Victron Energy Pure Sine Wave Phoenix. This is only a 250 VA 12 volt unit. She's only a little baby, but this is the new toy that I just picked up from Solar Tasmania today. Mate Matt up there's hooked me up with a cool little beast, and it's actually configurable with a little Bluetooth dongle that you actually connect to it, so you can control bits and pieces, which is really cool. So I got one of them on its way. When that gets here, we'll have a play with that. Let's have a look at what you get in the box. So you get this beautiful toroidal coil style, toroidal transformer style inverter. It's a nice striking blue cover with a nice steel chassis underneath, nice blue cover on top. You got your negative and positive inputs, your VE direct cable, that's the one that goes to your Bluetooth dongle, a remote loop, which means you can actually remotely trigger this from a reasonable distance, a grounding point. It's got an on mode, an off mode, and an eco mode. Eco mode lets this device just pulse nice and gently, so it's not to be wasting power generating for no reason. It sits there and pulses and waits for a load to come on. You've got instruction manual, tells you the date it was produced. Just have a quick look in the manual while we're looking. This is a great little unit. You may be thinking, why did you buy a 200 VA inverter, 250 VA inverter? It's quite a small inverter. Correct. It's also going to be a lot better on my Milwaukee charger, because my Milwaukee charger does not like and frequency fights with the cheap crappy inverters. Not saying that they don't have a place, because they do have a place. That's been cheap crappy inverters. So it's got recommendation of a minimum of 30 amp hour for your battery capacity, and it's got an internal 60 amp fuse. Recommends within 1.5 meters 4mm wire, 6mm if you go up towards 3. So that's cool. Gives you a good guide in the sizes of cable, and tells you for all the different models what's actually inside, fuse wires, etc. Gives you a troubleshooting guide, tells you how eco mode works. So the rating of the 200 VA one is 200 watts continuous at 25 degrees Celsius and up to 400 watts. Low input is down at 9.2 volts. So this actually goes a lot lower than a normal inverter would. A cheap inverter will stop at about 10.8 normally. Zero load power about 4.2 watts, and 87% efficient, so that's pretty cool. Weighs 2 kilos, 2.4 kilos, and yeah, fan cooled, only with temperature, so you may not hear the fan go under normal circumstances, normal loads. But this is going to be great for running my laptop, modem, pieces of equipment like that, because I'll be able to, ensure that it's safe. The problems I've had in the past with the cheaper inverters is they make a horrible switch moding sound. Well, when you plug in a switch mode transformer, like a lab power supply for instance, I try and do everything I can out here in the shed off the solar that I have got, because it's free power. All that packing back in the box. I don't need any of that for the time being. Okay, so it's almost charged up over here. This little lithium battery with a BMS. Don't look too hard at it, it's just no lithium battery that I've chucked a BMS up on top of. And we're going to connect this to the little 250 VA Victron Energy when I come back once this is finished charging, and we'll plug something in and test it. We'll plug in the Milwaukee charger and test it, because I think I've got a couple of batteries we can chuck on it. Right guys, be back soon. Alright, so I've put this little quick connect on the end here. I've currently got it in the off position, so we'll hook up the quick connect. That's off a 1000 VA UPS, so it should be good to go current wise. Okay, so we'll just grab the multimeter, check that we've got power to the inverter and the right amount. What are we doing anything silly? And we've got 11.8 volts at the inverter, which is good for that size battery. Power's on, it's lit up saying power's on. We've got 11.8 coming out this side. Okay, we've gone to AC on the meter. We're at 231. 231. Coming out this side of the inverter. Now you'll notice, unlike the Banggood 4000 watt inverter, it's making no noise, because it doesn't need to make any noise, because it's got a fan controller, which is smart enough to know that fans don't need to go if the fans don't need to go, rather than running all the time and wearing themselves out. So that's the cord to the 3-bay Milwaukee rapid charger. We'll plug that in, make sure there's no frequency noises, and see that it fires up straight away. No horrible frequency noises. See, when you plug this into the other ones, which I'll do in a comparison video, it goes tick, 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 and it's actually fighting to fire up the charger. So what I'll do now is we'll chuck the 9.0 battery, which is half flat, on. Lights up over there. Grab our current clamp, which is miles out at the moment. It's only about 6 amps at that stage. We'll have to wait for it to balance its way back down. I don't know what's wrong with it. It takes a while to do so sometimes. I think you shouldn't turn it off while you've got it clamped or something stupid like that, but anyhow, what we can do is go back to voltage. Make sure the little BMS on our board up there is not failing us, because that actually has to let the power out of the battery safely. That's rated at 25 amps. We've still got 11.36 there, which is still pretty happy. Tiny little transformer noise, nothing major. The charger will be charging at about 140 watts right now, because it's a rapid charger. Normally they're about 80 to 90. These get up to about 140-ish in charge. I have a kilowatt meter spare that we can test it out on the AC side as well. I need to make just a little short cable, which is a plug in a socket, that has just the active looped out of it, or even the neutral looped out of it, so we can current clamp things. I only thought about it the other day. If I just make something that plugs in like that, it'd be quite handy to just plug them together. So that's charging away nice and happy there. I did charge it with the new little T6 Lite Batgo. So what we'll do is we may even, so if we can't charge a couple of Milwaukee batteries off it, I've got another one here, which is just a M12 battery. Okay, so the fan on the unit turned on, revved up, and then backed off again. Got a single red light flashing on this edge, and reckon it'll be citing voltage. It's at 10.9. But we will grab the book and just see what that means. Because like I say, I just pulled this out of the box. We're just preliminary testing before we make a backing plane and set this up for our everyday use in the computer room. Okay, red LED. Solid on means reduced load, it's too high. Slow blink, low battery. So the battery's starting to be on the low side. It's not flat yet, probably won't go flat, it's just probably struggling to deliver. Fast blink means high battery. Pulse, double pulses means high temp. High DC ripple. There might be something to do with the cable size. Anyhow, inverter on. Slow single pulse is eco mode, green LED. Fast pulse off and waiting means it shut down on protection. Off, inverter's off, which is, yeah, it's real handy, isn't it? Makes sense. Takes about 15 watts in eco mode to wake it up. So there you go. That's sitting there. Wish I knew why the multimeters do that. Anyone know why the clamp meters do that? Say something in the comments. Hook a brother up, I don't know what's going on. So, the 9 amp hour battery down here. It's gone up 1 bar. This little beast's just purring. Really quiet. Fan noise is quite minor. You can only just hear it. Wish the current would drop right off so I could see what it was doing, but it's not that important really. I'm just going to measure voltage again right at the inverter. Oh. Just trying to measure DC millivolts, that's not good enough. It's down to 10.7 down here. Whoa, BMS is smoking. That's what's going on. BMS was failing. At 7.6, 3.8, 3.8. 3.8. Everything's still in balance, but it can't handle that load. So it might be rated at 25 amps. This thing will theoretically only pull 23 amps at a high load. So we'll let that heat dissipate and then I'll have a bit of a go again later with a lighter load. So that BMS is not going to be sufficient for the power output. What we might have to do is forget about the low voltage cutout because the inverter should handle that. Use the BMS to charge the battery and keep the cells balanced, and then just once we do that, I'll just have to discharge not off the BMS but straight off the two outsides of the battery and just use a voltmeter or even a cell log, so we get the three measurements for the 3 different battery voltages for the 3 different cells in one handy location so that you can keep an eye on it, which sucks a bit, but I didn't have the highest of hopes for that little BMS. I'm going to try and buy some bigger ones. If you know of a good one that's not a Batrium, because I don't want a 201 that's capable of 250S until I build a proper battery pack, because that's where we're at. Awesome little inverter, that was ticking away really nice. The amperage probably was up there because it's probably 23 amps at 25 volts. 23 amps at 12.8, 13 volts, something like that. So the current would have been getting too high for the BMS. Makes sense. Current goes up when the voltage goes down. You shouldn't forget that, and I just did for a minute there. That's what goes on. So the high limit for it, I think, was 14.7. So we might be able to play 4S battery with this. And I've got better BMSs, a little bit better BMSs that are rated at 30 amps. But we could probably parallel these. I've got 2 of them. So we may even parallel them and have a play. But the voltage range of this between shut-off and operating voltage is good enough that we can actually run this on a lithium battery and cycle it between 12.6 and 10.8 volts. So that is a huge plus for this little inverter. This would be awesome for portable battery systems like toolboxes, little power boxes, power bricks, things like that. Awesome for that. So that heat was all in the BMS from just transfer of energy out of the lithium battery here. It wasn't actually because it's trying to balance really hard. The batteries were still in good balance. That pack was fairly good cells. They're all like there's Panasonics, there's Samsung 20Rs, there's Samsung 25Rs. They're all reasonable good cells. They weren't like laptop cells. Yes, it's not fused, but I'm here looking at it with a multimeter in my hand, so don't stress. It's all good. But that's where we're at. I might even get a buck converter that can handle, let's say 35 amps, something that can handle, give it 10 amps of headway over this, and build a 4S battery and make a portable little system out of this, because even with an 18 volt solar panel we should be able to charge a 4S system. No worries, just put the power straight into the BMS, it'll sort it. Don't worry about a charge controller, let the BMS do it because the PWM's wrong. Looks like I'm about to get an MPPT charge control, 50 amp one as well. So we might build a sealed lead acid battery pack for in the back of the house to go on this. Obviously 12 volt. But I should have, I think I've got 2 63 amp ones there, 200 amp ones down here. So we should be able to go alright for voltage wise anyway. Anyway, the video's getting long. Thanks heaps for everyone who's watching. Hope you enjoyed. This is my new Victron Energy Phoenix 12 250 pure sine wave inverter, which doesn't make any horrible harmonic noises and is probably what I should have bought in the first place. Cheap crap inverters are always going to be cheap crap inverters. If it's not somewhere near like $1 a watt for the inverter, and if it's not Blue and Victron or a similar brand of high quality, you're risking your high-tech devices and your good devices. They're good. The cheap crap ones are good for resistive loads, not inductive loads, not switch mode loads. Keep that in mind. Thanks heaps for watching. There'll be some subscribe buttons over here. There's some more videos over here. I thank you for watching. Subscribe to my automotive channel. Buy some stuff from banggood.com in the link in the top of the description. Go over to Solar Tasmania, where I got this from. He can sell you these anywhere in Australia. No hassle at all. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.